Preservation Committee for the Town of Belchertown for February 1st, 2025. On our agenda this evening, we have no scheduled visits, but looks like we have some support for the Belchertown High School Stadium field renovations. Great to see everybody here. We're going to talk about what we got here? Discussion with the Christina Aponte from the Belchertown Orioles Athletic Association and current members, Eric Volz-Benoit, about future maintenance of the athletic field. We are going to, after that, the group will take a preliminary vote on our projects to see which ones we will recommend for approval for a town meeting. Continue discussing our Tressel Bridge project and possibility of some funding money. Update on Pam Rogers and our Housing CPC open position. Review revised spreadsheet. Continue discussion on our current budget. Review including the monetary refund from Wayfinders. I don't know if that was town report, and town accountant possibly coming to explain our budget. She is not here this evening. And our Sentinel article that had some misstatements that still have not gotten corrected, any bills, and then minutes and approval of our next meeting date. So with that being said, I will start the meeting. Evidently we've got some questions, some support for the Belchertown Athletic Association here for the school, the field renovations. I do want to just put out there that we received a letter from the superintendent of schools, Brian Cameron, in regards to the maintenance of the athletic fields, which I greatly appreciate. It looks like you guys said, oh, this, it's important to you guys, it's important to us, and we really wanted to make sure that moving forward that we were to preserve the field, and that was one of my sticking points at our last meeting, that without a maintenance plan I wasn't really willing to go forward with this. And so with that really puts my mind at ease that this could be a successful project moving forward. So that being said, on my end, you guys have anything else you want to offer the committee, or do you just want to hear what we have to discuss? No?
I'm good.
Okay, yes. Just state your name.
I know this project is coming from the schools, but the select board remains committed, and the DPW remains committed to maintain this field going forward too. So it's hot time.
Yep.
This project gets off the ground. It's been well over a decade, and it's about time. And everyone knows what the issue is, and the school committee is going to take some actions to make it a little bit easier to maintain the field, and we stand behind it as well.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, we did have our town manager here at the beginning stages of it, showing his support. We did speak with our DPW director also when she was here on some other projects, about this, and they were certainly committed, in supporting this also with with their labor that they supply. So that was really something good to hear. I guess I'm going to run around the room and see if anybody has any questions and or comments in regards to the letter that we received and anything else. Alex, I'll start with you. I know you kind of had taken on this project as the point person. So
yeah, this took a lot of effort from a lot of people actually. Special shout out to Don Longley there. Okay. Got a lot of good ideas going. Kevin Williams gave us a lot of information. Eric LeBeau worked on this, and of course Mr. Cameron worked on this. So it was a combined effort, and it's dropping a well to maintain, that's not only going to maintain this field, it's going to maintain other fields as I understand it. And theoretically it's going to save the school department $10,000 a year in water expense, which might sound like a drop in the bucket, but I think it's direction. So, everybody, thank you.
Anything else? David, do you have anything?
Not really. I think this is a really good project.
Wilbur?
Yeah, as a member of BOA, Belchertown Orioles Athletic Association, for almost 2 decades, I got to tell you, they're very committed. Christina's here. She's the former president. Eric is here. He is the current president. I've had conversations with both of them over the past 2 weeks, and their plan sounds fantastic. So I'm glad they're here. All 3 of them are here, so thank you for coming. But I think we're going to be very, very good shape. Oh, wait. Stop it.
Kevin.
What's that?
Can you
You
sign
need to
in?
sign in.
Oh, yes.
So, as far as the maintenance go, they're gonna help on the maintenance side for the future after this is all done, so.
Yep.
So I thank them and I thank everyone. So yes, I'm in favor of this plan myself, so it will be
I
good.
mean, I do want to hear from Bo as to, what their plan is for support and everything else also. So, we'll ask the question through our committee, and then we'll actually ask Bo to step up and, explain what their part, what their role will be in, helping to maintain the athletic field also. I know you're kind of out of it because you're part of the committee, so Megan, you have any?
Well, first, I'd like to thank Alex, because he was the one who reached out regarding the well. That was not in the original plan, and that was Alex trying to think outside the box and getting everybody together, because, again, that was not in the plan. So thank you, Alex, for stepping out. And Wilbur, thank you for reaching out to BOA, because, again, that wasn't in the application. That was nowhere even discussed. So, I don't even know that BOA was aware of what the needs were moving forward and what they could do to help out. So thank you both for stepping up and doing that. One of the biggest things for me, right, is that this is exactly the type of project that CPA is designed for. It's when things kind of go astray, askew, and things fields get neglected for no real reason of any one particular person or anything, but that happens. And you want to make sure that when you invest the money to restore these projects and get them back, that they are maintained and that there is an open line of communication for everybody, so that that's something that will continue on, get you back to where you need to be, and then keep it going from there. That's exactly what this CPA is for. So thank you for showing up tonight and showing your support. This is 100% a worthy project. It needed to have a lot of questions answered that were not in the application, and that left a lot to be trying to be figured out by us to do, which seems a little outside the box, because it would seem like we were putting this application together. We're building the ship as we're sailing it, and we're trying to get all the answers from everybody. So again, I'd like to thank Alex and Wilbur for reaching out, and really for BOA for showing up and really letting us know, what, you guys can do to help. It's not all gonna fall on BOA, and it shouldn't. But, I appreciate it all so much, so thank you.
Michael?
Yeah. This project originally came in as a restoration of the field for $186,000. And the realization was that we needed to put in a well, put in the irrigation, and we've added $25,000 to the amount to make it $211,000. And tonight we're going to take a straw poll, but at our next meeting we're going to have to take a defined motion and specifically nail down the exact dollars that we're going to go forward for at the ATM. And I want to make sure that between now and then we've fully thought through that the 211 will in fact be the amount of money that we need to not only restore it, but put in the irrigation and put in the connections put in, I don't know what else there is, electrical going for the water pump or anything else. And I want to make sure that we have a good solid number for our next meeting that we can vote on. So tonight, we're just going to take a straw poll, and I think you can get a sense for the consensus. And I'm also in favor of it. But I want to make sure that we do have, it's well thought out in terms of exactly how much money we are asking for. You cannot come back for more. You can give us stuff you don't spend, but you cannot come back for more. And so I want to make sure that the amount that we vote on next meeting is sufficient for a good quality restoration and the well, the irrigation, the connections, the wiring, the whatever it takes. So I want to make sure we have that done. Thank you.
I guess, with that being said, I guess one of the questions, I'm not sure if the CPC is allowed to fund for, looking at the proposal for the dollar amount, is your contingencies and labor of $5,000. That was, kind of, so that may be something that we may not be able to cover. That may be something that, so unless you have some hard numbers that, coincide with the $25,000, a contingency number just doesn't work with, the guidelines for the CPC. Okay. So,
Last thing,
how's that?
one more.
Sure.
Lynn is here too, who's the treasurer, which is a very important function for BOA. So I didn't mean to ignore you or whatever, but thank you, Lynn, for coming too.
So I guess, while we have the people from BOA here, I mean, we've got a letter that, efforts for BOA, fundraising and district initiative, in collaboration with the Belchertown Orioles Athletic Association, preliminary discussions regarding funding through fundraising efforts have been undertaken to supplement field maintenance. These include hosting community events such as tournaments, sponsorships, and donation drives, general proceeds from ticket sales, concessions, special fundraising campaigns dedicated to field improvements, and I've got a few other things. So, the district will, is that something that BOA is looking to do, is distribute, $10,000 to the school department to help supplement these fields? Is that something that you guys will be able to commit to on a yearly basis for, whatever number of years that it's gonna take to keep this and maintain this field? I guess that's one of the questions that I had.
So I'll speak on behalf of BOA, Lynn Raymer, treasurer. So BOA is representative of 17 teams, and that does not include those teams that are separately associated or separate 501c3s, which would include lacrosse, field hockey, and football. So BOA has 17 other teams plus those 3, of which obviously those 3 also are inclusive of this project. Of those 17, clearly there's about half of them that are more indoor sports versus outdoor. But there is a vast array, as you can imagine, of support and people behind those numbers. Annually, tens of thousands of dollars is raised through BOA. Generally, that money is raised for purposes of the team specific, with respect to raising funds for the athletes, for food, for clothing, for all of those things. But there's also another additional initiative that has also been started with respect to kind of looking outside of just the things to provide for athletes, but also looking at things to help provide and offset the costs for the school. That initiative this year is also for banners. The banners in the gym are very old and antiquated and are need to be revamped as well. So BOA has looked at that. BOA has also looked at just a general sports needs, given that we know the deficit that's looming. And so this is just another thing that BOA is committed to in terms of ensuring collaboration between all of the teams, inclusive of the ones under the BOA umbrella, as well as those teams that are outside of the BOA umbrella, and working with the school department to ensure that the requirement that we need to meet in terms of maintenance or whatever to ensure that we are successful in this grant is met.
Okay. Thank you. That's what we needed to hear.
Now, Brian's letter says that you'll seed the funds initially from school choice and then get reimbursed back. So that's a secondary underwriting of the commitment there as well.
Okay. Anybody else from the audience have anything else they want to offer?
So I just have one question, though. I mean, because, and need to be clear, I guess. Eric LeBeau had stated that it would be about $20,000 for the,
Yearly
oh,
maintenance
yeah,
for the
like the
building.
yearly maintenance. That's the cost increase that he thought.
Yep.
I don't know that, and I didn't hear you say that that's $20,000 is what you could do, right?
May I
Okay,
answer that?
yeah,
Eric LeBeau was given $10,000 out of his maintenance line. So that was 10,000 plus 10,000 from BOA, or school choice.
okay, so,
And we actually came up with 30,000 just in case.
well, hopefully that would not be the case.
Well, right, but you're saying,
I
right,
think
you were
he
very
initially
concerned
always
about
had 10,000
Yes.
on a yearly basis. Hopefully with the water savings, that will actually, be able to be utilized within the athletic, for
With
the-
other
for-
field, right, so
And
that,
with BOA, contributing, that's gonna it's gonna
Okay.
get you up and above the 20,000. Yes, Mr.
So I just want to clarify that when we first submitted, we said that there'd be fundraising activities, which didn't sit well
Yep.
because it wasn't guaranteed money, which I totally understood. I heard you loud and clear. That's why I wanted to commit the 10,000.
Yep.
But I want to be clear that it's not only BOA. We
Yep.
have other initiative and fundraisers that are in the works as advertising banners,
Yeah.
which is going to have a revenue that's going to go directly to the field. So I don't want BOA to think they're here committed $10,000 because that was never discussed. So
Excellent.
we have BOA, and that's why I put it as fundraising activities in general.
Sure.
We have parents that we met that want to do some activities through BOA, through their own boosters, through advertising. So I want to be clear that it's not only BOA.
Yep.
That this is a community effort that BOA may do 3,000. We may get 20,000 from advertising. But when I left last time, you wanted to know where the 30,000 was coming from to feel better, which I totally understand and respect that. So that's why we came up with the 10,000 from the water, 10,000 from Eric's line, and then the 10,000 from school choice, but reimbursing that once the fundraising was done.
Yep.
So, but I just want to be clear, I don't want to put all the pressure on them either.
Yep.
It's a collaboration between
Yes.
all of those.
Yes.
groups.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
we're gonna see banners on the fences
You may,
in support of, perfect.
Yes.
No, I love that idea.
Businesses.
Yeah.
So, yes, right, just local people, we go there,
It's in the
that should have
works.
happened eons ago, but right, yeah, no, I love that
And we're
idea.
hoping for them to be annual subscriptions, so it would be something that the businesses would pay year over year as long as
Right,
they're doing
perfect,
Yeah.
perfect, so then maybe nobody has to come up with money. You know, maybe we'll
But
just
that's
get it
not a
all
done deal
covered.
yet, so I don't
I
want you to
understand,
think-
but
I wanna be
that's what
clear,
you're-
crystal clear here, that we came up with 30,000. If the banners are great, then we could all be happy.
Right.
So much more
That's a
better.
bonus, for sure.
The other aspect of this is that the deterioration, and wherever it came from, doesn't matter. But you prevent that through ownership. If people feel that they are part of this and they own part of the responsibility, and they're the ones looking at the field and saying, it was, hey, I gave $5, how come I see a bulb spot? That ownership is critical towards the continued maintenance down the road, because it'll be many, many eyes
Correct.
looking. So I think that's an important part as well.
Excellent.
Yes.
Christina Aponte, community member and past president of Belchertown Orioles Athletic Association. I think it's important to say that Belchertown Orioles Athletic Association has been in existence since 2002. We've put, I'm going to guess, between $400,000 and $450,000 into Belchertown High School athletics.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a fly-by-night organization.
Yep.
We've been raising money since 2002, and I do know that we're committed to this, as well as working with other parents and community members to put this whole thing together for the fields. The banners, this has actually been BOA has been trying to get banners for that area, the stadium, I will say since probably 2006. And it was always shot down. So now we do have a superintendent who's in agreement and a principal who's in agreement to get this thing moving. So I know that this will get moving by the many community members that we have who will help to raise money.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I commend you all for coming out, and showing your support for the project. I mean, that goes a long way, for me, my comfort level in spending this amount of money, based on the support we have out there, the commitment and everything else. So, with that being said, I mean, I am fully in support of this project, and I, will, cast my vote in a positive manner, looking to support this project. So, you have my vote on that.
Can I just say one more
Yes,
thing?
you may.
Since we have all of these ears in the room, this is exactly the type of project that the CPA loves to fund. These are exactly, I'm sorry that you're surprised. Because these are the things that, if we get commitment from people, then, we're gonna fix things up. You can do things, and I just wanna say, as I had told Mr. Cameron, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. Sorry, the nice woman sitting next to him.
That must be Ruby.
So you can do these projects. They don't have to be all in one year. They can be done in phases. Something to think about. So if you identify the needs, it can be the school committee. You just need approval from the school committee. But it could be like an organization like BOA that manages it, that takes it on. So these are things that we absolutely look for. And I'm sorry that you're so surprised, but if you look at a lot of the fields in town, Foley Field, Constantino Field, there are many, many, many fields. The football field over by Chestnut Hill, those have all been refurbished due to Community Preservation Act monies. That is not something that, it's only for the recreation department. It's, for the community. And so if, it doesn't have to just be Mr. Cameron, it just needs to have his stamp of approval. So I'm hoping that as you look around your schools and you see things that may or may not need your attention, you'll consider. And again, if you have any questions, we have a website, and every single member here is willing to reach, to go and speak with you and give you guidance, so that you know what you need and to get it through as quick as possible.
Thank you. Michael?
Just when you leave, all we're doing is voting to recommend at ATM. That's where the actual approval of funding is made or not made. So we have our support, but it's support going forward at the ATM. Just want to make sure we're clear on that.
So make sure all your friends and family show up at the annual town meeting, come back. So Michael, are you in favor of this project? Just as yes. Megan?
Seriously?
Donna?
Yes.
You've been in
I am.
town long.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So you have the full support of all seven members here within our committees to move this project forward. If you do need to make any changes before we take our official vote at our next meeting, which will be
2 weeks.
20, which would be 14, would be the 18th. Please, send in any supplemental information so we have that, because when we make our final vote, we will, be casting it with an actual dollar amount on to move forward. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. And if you haven't signed in before you leave, make sure you please do sign in. Thank you. All right. Moving on our agenda. So let's, look at taking an informal.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you for your time.
Ruby.
Thank you, guys.
We're never gonna get that kind of a
Thank you.
All right, let's, look at the, we're gonna go down the list on our, rest of our remaining projects and, take you know, our straw vote, whether or not we, wanna move them forward, and, we will have all of our verbiage ready for our next town meeting in terms of, writing up the motions and whatnot. So, first project would be town records preservation. I'm in favor of that project. I'll go right from Michael right on down around the line.
I'm in favor of it. It is limited just to the town clerk's documents and archives. So I would expect that in a future year, that we get an expanded scope coming in. But I'm in favor. This is $24,000 to archive records going back to the 1700s. So
Yep.
I'm for it.
Thank you. Megan?
yes, I'm for it.
Donald?
Yes.
I am?
Yes.
David? And Will?
Yes.
Okay, so we're all in agreement on that one there. Our survey of our Upper Gulf Road Forest Conservation Area, which is, they're looking to do a survey of that, you know, to get the bounds corrected on that. I'll go around the room again and see if there are any questions and or see where you stand on that.
So did we ever get a response on, the $5,000 does the survey, but did we ever get any response about if they do in fact get pushback from the neighbors or from someone there, any monies needed for legal fighting?
Okay,
And that's the only question, it's still in my mind.
right,
I'm in favor of doing a survey and documenting clearly what we own and what we don't own.
right,
And 5,000 is cheap for that. But I am concerned that if we do get neighbors that are saying, well, I want to contest it,
well, I mean, that's, yeah,
who's gonna pay for that?
I guess the town would have to, you
The
know.
town
look at-
would,
right,
right?
you know,
Isn't
because
that why they
that's a
have
land
town
dispute.
council?
Or
That would be a land dispute
Or would it
between,
be Kestrel?
or, well, they don't own it, the town owns the property. Kestrel
Kestrel
only
owns
takes the conservation restrictions, so maybe the two of them in conjunction would, but, you know, that would be a, you know, legal battle between the, you know, the individual property owners, which would be the town and the, I don't wanna step into that at all, because that,
Okay.
you know,
I
it's
think
too
that's-
open-ended.
Yeah,
So we certainly documented enough evidence that we need to have a solid survey.
Right.
$5,000 will do it. Go.
Okay,
yes.
Megan, Donald?
Yes.
I am in favor, Alex?
Wasn't this required by Kestrel for their support?
They're the ones that initiated the request.
Right, they,
Because they
Yeah.
found issues.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in favor.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Town Beach Rehab, that's a total project of $340, they're looking for $136 in, CPC funds. I think this is a, you know, very worthy project. I mean, you know, they're looking at coming up with, the majority of, the funding for this project. It's gonna open up the, recreational facility, you know, year-round. I totally in agreement with this project. Michael?
Contingent upon successful
Grant,
granting of the 319 funds
Right.
from the government.
correct.
but they wouldn't pursue it, right, if they,
Right, if they
Didn't
didn't
get
get the grant, they're
they
not,
wouldn't
you know,
do
they,
right.
right, so the two
Mhm.
will be tied together.
right,
Megan?
yes.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Alex?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
All right, so we have 7 on that one. Our handbell refurbishment, unfortunately, that one does not meet the guidelines to fall under CPC funding, so that won't even, you know, we're not even gonna need to take a vote on that because it does not meet the guidelines. Fire,
Yeah, I looked into that.
again.
Yeah, I spent like 2 hours trying to find a way to fit into the parameters of CPA.
Mhm.
It just didn't happen.
I will,
Sorry.
I have not yet reached out, just so you know, because I was back and forth, you know, 1 minute we were doing it, the next minute we weren't, 1 minute we had to support, then we don't. So I will reach out, and I think this was one that, in that article, that they said no.
Right, that would work in red.
Silly article. So I will reach out and let them know.
Yep.
But thank you.
Unfortunately, yes. The next one would be our fires museum exterior work, and that again is you know, like split half and half with CPC funding and the firefighters association you know, picking up part of that grant. I'm in favor of that. Michael, you have any?
I'm recusing
That's right,
myself.
because you're part of that.
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Alex?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so that's a 6-0-0. Horse barn repair, for over at the New England Small
FC
Farms
Farm, yeah.
Institute. So, yeah, so this one was a project of about 123,000, they're looking at a little bit under 120,000 from CPC. And you know, recently we've gotten word from one of the members of the New England Small Farms Institute that their lease has been renewed, I believe, for the next 10 years.
Good.
On that, yes, Miss
5.
Berry, 5 years, okay,
That's
5
right,
years,
yeah.
so, yeah, so they're, you know, so they're leased with the state, you know, and if nothing happens with that, if, you know, if we don't fund that, you know, it doesn't appear that the state's willing to step up and do that, you know, this part would be lost. I mean, you're gonna, you know, once the roof is compromised the way it is, if you don't address that, you know, the remaining part of the structure, you know, will deteriorate in short order. So, I think this is a worthy project to fund, and I'm in full support of that. Michael?
I'm in favor.
Megan?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
Now, does this cost, is that inclusive of the cupola?
Excuse me?
The cupola?
The cupola.
No, I don't think it was. The
Well-
cupola?
They were gonna
The
come
cupola's
back.
part of the roof.
Yeah,
It
but
was,
you guys
but
weren't
it-
doing any
yeah.
work to that though, were you?
Well, we're still fundraising,
Okay,
so.
so that would be part, on your part of, you know, because, you know, we're at, you know, the number that we have here is, you know, was mostly for the roof without, you know, including any of the cupola work.
That's part of the,
Understood?
that's a historic part of the building.
Right. It's not gonna be thrown away, it'll be restored.
Okay. I'm happy.
We
So
did,
yes,
we did ask them
Yeah, to add on, yeah.
with an estimate of how much it would cost to restore the cupola and
Yeah.
put it back on.
If you haven't done that, you got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks?
2
Yeah.
weeks.
All right. I'll let
'Cause-
them know.
Getting it all set at once is, at least from our experts' opinion, the best course of action, right? Doing the whole kit and caboodle up there
All at once, yeah.
Yeah.
was at the same time.
And
Right.
the cupola is in good shape, it just needs to be painted and a new roof.
I mean,
it's
you
gotta
know, and
look
just, you know,
right.
really, you know, maybe a visual inspection while they're up there and, you know, any minor repairs that may need, you know, to be done, because, you know, if that leaks out, you know, it's just gonna carry down, you know, through the remaining part of the building, so,
Okay.
okay?
Yes.
Yes, all right, and Wilbur?
Yes.
All right. McPherson Sensory Garden Enhancements, this is a total project of approximately 17 or 18,000. They're looking for 6,000 from CPC funding. Totally, I mean, they've done fantastic work over the years up at that place with a ton of community support and fundraising. Here, once again, you know, they're funding, you know, almost 65% of the grant that they're looking for. I think this is a worthy project that, you know, has my support and hopefully all the other members of the committee. Michael?
It also is the ADA enhancement,
Yep.
which is right up, I appreciate it, so I'm in favor.
Megan?
Yes.
Donald?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes,
David?
definitely yes.
Wilbur?
Definitely yes.
All right. Anybody out there that wants to jump in, if you have anything to say,
Any
we'll
questions or
take your-
anything, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Tri-Lakes Aquatic Restoration, so the Tri-Lakes Association is looking to finally do some weed management, extensive weed management of all 3 lakes, and they're looking at, it's a grant of about $85,000, they're looking for $50,000 from CPC funds. I think this is, once again, one of those things that, is long overdue. We really, the water quality needs our help, the access for public access, especially with, the Town Beach project, if that becomes a reality for being open year-round, I mean, that would now grant access to at least 2 out of the 3 lakes with public access between that and Lake Metacomet. I think, both of that is certainly a worthy project that would benefit, the town greatly. Michael?
So 2 comments. One is the timing on this, approval of the funds after the ATM makes it too late for them to do it this year, which means that the actual funds spent
Right.
would be next year,
Spring
meaning
of,
26.
right, spring of 26, right.
Spring of 26, which would, anyway, from a timing standpoint, that's the only concern with there. The other one was, did we ever get a good answer on ongoing maintenance thereafter? Are we comfortable that the spot treatment funds will be available year after year going forward?
I mean, they said that they would, they gave us, what they're, what they've done in the past, so, I think their past history shows that, that they're very active in that part of it, and so I think they should be able to manage that.
I'll vote in favor.
Megan?
I'm in favor of it. I thought that they were pretty confident that that spot, getting it to where it's super manageable.
Yep.
That one time, well, the 1 year, within 1 year. Isn't that what they're gonna start in 2025 and finish in 2026 with trying to get rid of the majority? And they thought that that time span was appropriate,
Yep.
that they could do it. And then they thought that just spot treatment was
Right.
something that they could do because they were
They have
always
done
kind
that in
of
the
swimming
past,
against
and
the
that's
time,
right.
right?
Right.
And it just, too much. So yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Myself, yes.
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Wilbur?
Yes.
All right. So, our gravestone restoration, we had Vince come in again on this. This has been, I think since inception, we've had some stuff from,
Yep.
Since 2005.
From the very first year, yep.
And here again, we're looking for $9,700 for gravestone restorations, and fully in support of our veterans officer to get that done. And some of the things that he's shown us, what he's going to be doing this year, look pretty impressive. So I'm in favor of it. Michael.
You had mentioned that the restoration of the fields is exactly what the CPA funds are intended for. In my mind, this
It's
preservation
also
of
100%, yeah.
our history, our knowledge is exactly what it's for, so I'm in favor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Megan.
I'm totally in favor, and I really want to see the table, what it looks like when it's done.
I know, right?
I want another tour, Vince.
Donald?
I'm in favor.
I am too.
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
David? Wilbur?
Yes.
All right. So we've had full support for a majority of our projects here, all but one that is unfundable. I mean, the total amount of projects is approximately $834,000, of which they're looking for $565,000 in CPC funding. So a cost share of about 32%. Wilbur has done all of our mathematics on that. I mean, I feel that's a very good return on our investment, and really hope we get the support at town meeting.
Okay, so we just gotta firm up 2 numbers, right?
From,
Cupola,
correct.
and on the renovations, we're -5, but
Yep.
we wanna,
Yeah, and if they come back, with some hard numbers that, okay, looking at and connections and or wiring, whatever may be necessary, for the well and or anything else on the athletic field, we will entertain that, that part of it also.
Yeah, my concern on the athletic field is, the guy that gave them the hard quote on the well may not have included the trench to carry the electrical there. Or the electrician that quoted the wiring didn't include a switch or, some connection inside the building. So I just wanna make sure that there aren't those oops type of things, on the quote.
Agreed.
Right, so we need hard numbers from them.
Right,
I mean, as it
and
were,
we're gonna go with, the 211 minus the 5,
I-
which is, 206,
Right.
so.
Are-
But if they can justify that, hey, we didn't include electrical and this is what it's gonna take, we'll entertain that and certainly reconsider that as part of the project. Yes.
is Mr. LeBeau going to redo the, at least the front page for us? I would like that all in writing.
I thought I mean.
I haven't seen anything.
We haven't, yeah, okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, is get all his numbers, exact for us.
And
I
put
don't wanna
well
go
on
to
our-
town meeting with
Sure.
yeah, they said they were gonna, I wanna go to town meeting with, that this is what they want,
Okay.
like
We
some
can
hard
do that.
numbers,
We can
yeah.
ask for that.
Hard scope, hard
Yeah,
numbers.
well, you know what? At the end of the day,
Right, what
I'd
we're
rather have
voting
the
on, we
paper,
wanna
yeah.
make sure that, right, we
Right.
have the
I've
paper.
got-
I'd rather have the paper.
I've got one minor thing, the rec department is using the sprinkler for their well. They borrowed that from the school department.
The school doesn't use that big one anymore, and all those fields over there all have
Yeah.
in-ground.
So they're not gonna try to steal it back.
No.
I'm pretty sure CPC bought them a
An
sprinkler.
underground sprinkler
Not, I don't think an
system.
underground, a big sprinkler system.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm,
well,
if we go back and look, I'm almost positive that we bought that for the rec department. So if there's 2,
All the
maybe,
better.
right. If there's 1, that's
Well,
the
they
rec
can
department.
Work it out between themselves
Right.
on who gets to use it on the.
On what days,
Okay.
at what times, they can
You
run it
get the
over.
odd days, we get the easy.
Because I'm like, oh, we bought that.
Okay.
By we, I mean, community preservation and the town of Belchertown.
okay, can I just say one last thing?
Yeah,
The cupola, obviously, I won't have a problem getting the estimate on that on the Monday before our next meeting, right? So I can have a
right.
good worksheet. So are you gonna talk to Eric? I just wanna make sure one of us is going to talk to Eric and make sure we got numbers for Monday, not for Tuesday.
Right.
And,
yeah, I can
Bless
talk
you.
to her.
okay, and also with Megan's request too, that he could just redo the front page, that would be good too, to have.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay,
I feel
Good.
better about it.
all right. Moving along. I didn't really have anything else to bring up on the Tressel Bridge project. I mean, town accountant will allow us to use our gifted funds from, that we had from the old Belchertown Land Trust for trail maintenance, and so that is part that they'll be able to use, and then just the remaining amount will come out of the general fund to pay for that. I have no update in regards to our housing CPC open position. We reviewed our CPC, go ahead.
Can we just jump back very
Oh.
quickly? So the makeup of this board requires that there be a representative from the housing authority. We haven't had one for a couple of
A year
years
and a half
now.
now, right?
We've been asking, making contact, and
We
Steve
need
Williams
crickets.
has now signed a letter saying we need to have, by law, a representative on this committee, and it's been a vacancy.
So what would you like to do?
By the way, way, we have.
Well,
That's a
I
good
just-
question. Other than Steve saying even more forcefully, the law requires that we have a representative. I don't know what authority we have,
Right.
but we need to put some pressure on the housing authority to have a representative.
Can we say they're in
fill
contempt
the
of
seat.
state law and,
Actually,
are they in
yeah.
contempt of state law?
No,
I
wouldn't
know,
go
I
that
don't wanna
far.
go that direct, but, you know, right.
I would think as long as it's documented that you've reached out many times to the housing authority and it's documented, that would fulfill the spirit of the law, right?
I would think so
Whether or not they
too.
want- Whether or not they want to be a part of it, you can't force anybody to do this work, let's be honest, right?
Right.
But one of the results of that, though, is that every year we have to set aside 10% of the funds specifically for housing, and that bucket is getting full, you know?
And we don't have somebody that's advocating
We don't
for
know
that, you know.
what
to-
type of
Until we have
projects.
another
for
Christopher
projects
Heights
to be
come
able to write.
along, the bucket keeps going up, and this is specifically for creating affordable housing, which we know this town needs.
I tell you what, I think we can at least clean it up. Might not be able to solve it by getting somebody, but we can at least get council to weigh in to say, hey, we're doing our best to fill that seat, just nobody wants to be there.
Yep.
That way, everything looks good from
Sure.
committee perspective.
Right, you don't wanna just
We've
go
done
with
our
your
job.
word.
Yeah, that would help.
Go with your
That would
paper.
help.
Look at, I got my paper.
Very good, take that back.
Thank you. So I have nothing else to contribute on our current budget review and monetary with wayfinders. I mean, we're not, I don't think there was any discussion on discontinuing that grant. I think, we were putting it on them to, look at the scope of the grant that they have with us and possibly maybe making a modification, and if, they can modify it in terms of, hey, we need to change the scope, we'll refund that money and we'll apply for another grant. That's something that, we would ascertain, we would certainly be, willing to do. But I wasn't willing to just, to cut that, cut ties with that.
The ball is in their court
Right.
to initiate that action.
Correct.
And I like the idea too, that they would go, have that, like, I don't know, fair or
Some
information
process,
session.
community meetings
Right,
about-
here in Belchertown,
Right.
right, to address our residents or future.
So we had a
potential
representative from Wayfinders who we've given a grant to for first-time homebuyers assistance, and the problem is the median income level versus the cost of housing here in Belchertown is not conducive of that grant being all that able to be utilized, and so that's where we were, we had a representative here, we were like, well, maybe we do some modifications to the grant, maybe we can do some, other outreach and, outreach here in town instead of just, your broad scope and or at, Wayfinders, which is out in Springfield, bringing it, here in-house and seeing what we can do to help, facilitate, some use of the funds that we have dedicated for that. I mean, there's, I wanna say about 35,000 sitting in that bucket for that use that, would like to see it move forward instead of, just sitting there collecting interest, so. Town report is done. I wish I sent everybody a copy of it, but, I
You can read it.
forgot all about that, but that is in place, and so that'll be at our, ready for town meeting. Nothing in terms of a town accountant here, and update of the Sentinel article. Still haven't heard anything back on that. There was an article written, about when we first started going through some of these projects, and it appeared that, the writer of that article had made reference that we had voted, yay or nay on some of our projects, which, I had sent an email back that no, we were just doing some discussions and what we needed in terms of, applicants to come and visit the CPC to be able to explain their projects, and so, I made a correction letter to the individual writing the article for Sentinel, but I haven't heard anything back on that, and so, I think when we make our initial vote or our vote next meeting, maybe we'll get a letter together, from the committee as to where we stand based on all of these projects moving forward. So we'll have that as a legitimate, where we're at, and not just what somebody thought we said or go, in that direction. So,
Can you let me know if that letter works?
excuse me?
Can you let me know if that letter works?
Didn't work, it hasn't
I'll be
worked yet.
misquoted.
When it was?
Can you let me know if that letter works, if they're gonna like fix it?
In worst come right. I mean, or I'll just do a letter. We'll do a letter to the editor. Maybe that'll work. I mean, we'll see what we can do. Warbur's got, good ties with.
Not anymore.
Not
I had
anymore?
great ties
Oh man.
with Amy Henderson.
Yeah.
So I have no bills.
Good news.
Approval of our minutes for our January 21st meeting.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And our next meeting date, which would be, I want to say 14 days from now, so that would be the 18th.
Correct.
All right. We'll set our meeting for the 18th of February and 7 o'clock, and we will do our final vote and get all of our numbers down, and we should be all set. Yes.
So the 18th, the select board will be meeting in here because of the holiday. on
We'll
Monday.
end up meeting in the, because of the holiday, so the Monday holiday. Yep, not a problem. All right.
Just one last thing. So annual housekeeping items is on my template. But if we don't have specific items for those months, I'm gonna remove that because I think that's too general,
It is too general.
right?
Yep.
All right, so but under annual
You
housekeeping
can write
items,
annual
I have one.
housekeeping, and then you can
and then
make a
I
small
have
little
those-
bullet points, right.
Right, and that's what I have. But some months, we have not identified anything as of yet.
Right.
All right, so then that'll be done for the next meeting.
Can I bring up one last thing too? If we don't have a housing representative, we can't have Stuart come in.
Right.
Stuart's
Why
the
he
head of the
won't do that?
CPA in Boston. He was gonna come meet with us. We were gonna invite other towns that have the CPA programs. He was gonna give a presentation, but he said if you don't have a full board, he didn't wanna come out until we had a full board. So that's kinda where we are with that.
Well, I mean, you can tell me, we are actively trying to, get, solicit an at-large member and, and a housing rep, but, we're still a 7-member board that's very active, so I don't see why he wouldn't be willing to come out and speak with us.
Okay. Would you like me to talk to him?
Yep.
Okay. All right, we'll talk to
The
him.
other thing you may want to ask them is, how do other boards handle this kind of holes in their membership? What do they do?
Yeah. Some of the boards are bigger, some are smaller, so.
But they're all required to have
Right.
Those 5,
someone from
right.
housing, someone from planning, someone from et cetera.
Okay.
It's hard to imagine that they don't need any money.
You would think.
The issue is the funds have to be used for
Creation.
creation of a new affordable housing capacity, or the prevention of existing affordable housing from being so deteriorated that it comes off the market. Can't be used for just general, we need windows kind of thing.
Right, because there was, one for, making some,
Lighting.
ADA accessible for some of the,
Right,
the
remember?
the
On
rooms, and
acres.
it didn't
Yeah.
create that, so it was, very,
Unfortunate.
very tight
Our
scope.
council said
Yeah,
it
said
it
no.
doesn't meet the,
And the lighting,
Right.
remember on the road
Yeah,
nope, that didn't count either.
all right, I have nothing else.
How old is that building?
Which building?
Everett Acres?
Everett?
I don't know. Looks like it's from the 70s, 60s maybe, but I don't know.
Well, if it's over 50 years old, it qualifies as historic.
at
So I got
7:56,
nothing else
I'm
to
gonna
bring
make a
in front of the
motion
board.
that we
Do I hear a
adjourn.
mo- Do I hear hear a motion to adjourn?
So I so move.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you, everybody.